Right, we are live. Okay. Where do I start? This is me. This is my most recent picture that my son took the other day in the back garden, whilst picking up a bee that fell from the trees. Anyway, that's enough about me. I first set up this channel 5 years ago, but I haven't really used it for much, rather than just uploading client videos, that kind of thing, for instructional videos, but never really made a channel of it. So here I am, just a very, very short bio. My name is Andrew Kelsall. I'm a graphic designer, hold a degree, a Bachelor of Arts in graphic design. I've been a graphic designer now for like 20 years, and I live roughly about 200 miles north of London, so northern UK. So what I thought I'd do, let's get me off the screen. What I thought I'd do for this first video is I'm wanting to create videos that are not not polished as they were. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and so forth of instructional videos that they tell you how to do this and how to do that, and they're very polished. But what I want to do with this channel is I'm going to start an example CD cover that I've started to do. So what I want to do with this channel, I thought Illustrator, it is open. What the heck? That's why. But this is an example already. This is a perfect example. In this channel, I'm calling it something like, what did I call it now? Like raw and uncut. Me doing projects, and as I do them, give tips and advice as I'm doing them. And, it's like a warts and all kind of thing, including things like this, which I'll just ignore for a second, and show you. Sorry, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Thing is, I'm on a Mac, and I've just set up a new user. So instead of my other user account, I've set up another, user on my Mac, just so everything that I do in here, like the desktop and everything else, if you look, it all pertains to YouTube and stuff, and it's only got the things on here that I need. So I've just what I'm going to do is talk through this CD design project that I'm doing, and already I suppose a problem's come up that I can show the solution to. Problems come up like it's this font's missing, that kind of thing. So I must be using some kind of font that's it's set up to another user profile sort of thing. But I'll get into that as I fix them. So anyway, that's a perfect demonstration, unintentional. What I want to do is talk about my projects as I am doing them, and problems that I come up with as I'm doing them, and giving solutions to them. And it's a very, very just raw, like I said, just raw and unedited. There's videos that maybe you could just put me on in the background sort of thing, and they're not intended either to be short videos. I don't know however long it takes me to do a project. I might leave the videos running an hour or so. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. So anyway, so I've had this idea to do this, and the thing is, I've already started a CD cover design. Now this one is actually for my brother's band. So it's it's like something that I'm doing for free for him. But I thought it's a perfect example of a design project that I can walk you through, sort of thing. And so I better start off by showing what I've done, and a little bit more about how I've done it, that kind of thing. So because I'm on my new profile on a Mac, I've just exported or imported over my profiles for Illustrator and Photoshop, and yeah, these screens keep popping up. I can't remember for the life of me how you stop them from popping up. But anyway, these must. So anyway, so basically, I'm doing a CD cover design, and let's see if the trade card works. So here is my file structure for it. I've got some resources, downloaded images. There's some old files, some more downloaded files. Oh, they're the templates are downloaded from the publisher. Booklet. So here are some images that my brother sent. So here are photographs of the band. I'm sure they won't mind me using them since I'm actually printing their images inside a public CD cover. So there you go. And then there's the lyrics and stuff for inside. So I mean, if you're watching this video and you're going to design a CD cover, sorry, have a drink. I suppose this is where all projects start. I mean, I've done a fair few CD cover designs in the past. I've done like digipack ones and jewel case designs, that kind of thing. And they all start off the same way. The client sends you a file full of information. These are song lyrics, so they'll give you the lyrics and the images and a basic idea of what they want. So that's there for the booklets. That's just a Google images they sent as an example of something they might want. So he sent me his logo, which is a PNG, and also sent me the logo in PDF, and that was the one I used because it's in vector. Why am I actually recording? Let's look at this. Yeah. 7 minutes of me babbling already. You can hear the subscribers already. Not. Anyway, so here's an example of the kind of thing they're wanting, or some ideas. They've just pulled these images off Google, so I'll not be using them for copyright reasons. But they just want, some ideas of what they want. So the front of the album, white or black background. We have a human made up as DNA. So I have actually yet to do the cover for it. So, like example pics, blah 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 blah. So the album title's called Real or Fake, and it's for the band Undiscovered. So then they sent me the back images, and they're really, really crappy images. Not very good quality, low lighting. So they wanted like them on a white background. Obviously, they've just done a quick mock-up, not being designers, but they show me pretty much what they want. So I've taken that, pretty much from that image. So they wanted that, the background white, all these no exit signs taken out, that kind of thing. So CD disc is part of the theme, yeah. So anyway, so from this point onwards, this is the way that I do CD covers. Not the way that a lot of people do them, I suppose. I've just, over the years, discovered my own way of doing them. And what I do is I create the PSD files first, and then I create the Adobe Illustrator files second, and I link them up. I link the actual PSDs up as smart objects into Adobe Illustrator designs. So here I will show an example of that. So I'll get the PSD. Here's the booklet design. I'll not show the booklet first because it might be a bit confusing. What's that? So that's the tray is going to be transparent, I do believe. So there'll be the inside and the outside. So let's double click these. Why am I using my mouse? I've got a Wacom tablet or Wacom, or however you pronounce it. There we go. So this is the image, the scent that I just showed you. So basically, this image, I'll show you what it's made up like. It's just the white background. The original image is hidden, like, let's cover his watch up. I can't even for the life of me remember what I did now. So, oh, here we go. Right. So this is the original image. I've done nothing to the image. All I've done is I've added a layer mask. But these layer masks are in turn layered up and stacked up on each other. But you know, if you're watching this, I've no idea what skill level you are in Photoshop, so I'm not sure if it's worth explaining it. So anyway, the actual photograph is. I'll just turn them both off. I'll disable that layer mask, disable that one, and show you the picture. So here's the picture. The reason I got two layer masks, if you know what layer mask is, because they both got different levels of blur on them, I think. So anyway, I pretty much just took the image for this. So this is the normal image. I also set the image into a smart object, so you know, no matter how big or small I make it, no matter how many times I change it, it's going to not lose its original resolution. So it keeps the original file intact, so I can mess around with it. So anyway, I set that from normal to luminosity. So then I have a color. I've decided upon a color scheme for the design. So you see there, very slight. It puts like a blue tone underneath. And then I made a layer mask to mask off the outside. That one is like quite a so there's like quite a lot of blur around the edges on that one, but there's another layer mask there which sharpens it. So I think I did this one first, which sharper, and that one, which is it's got like a more blur, and combined it's like I've got a sharp stroke. If you look, it's like it is sharp, but a bit of white comes into it, so it's like a blur and sharp at the same time. So disable that. If you look, that's very blurred. Put the sharp version on as well, and you get like the effects of both. So I think it's a good way to do it. And then because so this is the template for the tray. So this will be on the outside of the tray card, and you know, these will be the actual, you know, like the band name on the spines. So the image goes there, and so this one, it's like when I'm working for myself, you know, not intending to explain to anyone else, I don't always call my layers as I should. I just, you know, leave them like group 2 copy. That's some kind of duplicated layer. It's just pretty much to cover up his watch, because as I get to in a second, there's some white text on the actual in Illustrator that goes over his watch, and that will clash in with it. It's got like 4 squares there, so I can copy and paste. So I've been using alpha channels for these as well. Not that image. That one's because I used an old template for another album cover that I did. That was for another band. So yeah, so because I was copy and pasting this in an alpha channel, putting a square in each corner, stopped this from like moving upwards and centering in the image. My throat's like a bit weird today. So after that, I just put a couple of lines of colour just to stylize it. So that's the background. And if I overlay that, you know, that's the bleed going down here. So that's the back. So this, for example, then I'm not going to go through everyone like this. I'm just explaining just like one piece of the design. So what I do is when I save that, I will turn that off. This one here, because I don't want that in Adobe Illustrator. So I'll turn that off, and then I'll hit save, and that will save then as a PSD, ready for putting my vector artwork over the top in Illustrator. So I'll just close that, don't save. This is the inside of the card. I haven't even started on that one yet. I think it's just going to be that same blue colour. It's actually 16 minutes past midnight. I'm trying not to speak too loud because family is in bed. Right then. So that's the PSD designs. If you look, I mean, these are the codes given by the company: CD, UD, 100, and tray, CT, blah blah blah. they're the actual names of the files provided by the print company. So what I do is I always match these up, I think, what I've done as Adobe Illustrator files. So, these are Photoshop files. I'm now going into Adobe Illustrator. So in Adobe Illustrator, trays there, this is the corresponding, that's the artwork for the old one. This is the corresponding file for the tray card. Right then. This is coming up, could not find the link file, blah blah blah, choose to replace another. This is because I have just, what I've done is, because I was using my other profile on the Mac, I've just moved the location. This is now on an external card, so I can just put them on the external card to flip in between accounts. It's a lot better than using file sharing. I'll be always, if I use file sharing, I'm always going to have to be changing permissions to access files, and it's a nightmare. So just stick them on a 256GB card in the back of my Mac, and it's a lot simpler. Except for things like this, but I wouldn't usually swap them in between accounts. I'm only just swapping this one because I've only just decided to launch this YouTube channel videos. So anyway, this is saying it can't find it because it's looking on another location on my hard drive. It's looking for the location actually on the Mac's hard drive on my other account. Now it's on the external card on this other user account on my Mac, so there's a bit of a mixed match. So if you do things like this and you use smart objects, you just simply have to find it, and replace it. So we'll be having to do this for all my files as well. So anyway, let's replace. So I'm looking for this, CDT 100 out. Right. So then I'm going down to my card. So it's Daz CD. Daz is my brother. It's his band. PSD Designs. Tray card. So it's this one here. And just replace. That's why it's a good idea as well to always, keep the file names the same. So anyway, what workspace have I got? Oh, yeah. I've just imported all my workspaces from my other account, so hopefully it'll work. AK 2020. Booyah! There it is. Although, why is that there? That's weird. Okay. So what I showed you was, let's have a look. So that's like the original template. Do I have no? That's something else. Right, so they're the crop marks. They're all in separate layers for this template. So anyway, this here, if you look, art outer, what that is a PSD file. So this, what I placed in, is the actual PSD. Right, so if I go into Photoshop and actually, I'll open that as a new tab. Make it a lot easier. So I've got one open for Illustrator, one open for PSDs. What was it again? Tray card, outer. So for example, this is the way that I do it. This is the PSD that I'm working on. If I make changes to this PSD, it will update in Illustrator when I save it. So I'll just put a new layer just as an example. Go to, what the heck? Everything's just like brand new again because I've started a brand new account for this. Nothing's as it should be. Let me just fill that in red. Let me hit save. Hey, it reminds me back to CD cover for, is it New Order? Or was it Orange Box or something? Anyway, that's now saved, right? Go back into Illustrator, and now it says some files are missing or modified in the links panel. Would you like to update them now? So just click yes, and there you go. So whatever I do in Photoshop, it now carries over into Illustrator. And the way that I did that originally was, all you do is you go to File, Place, you you actually get the file and just place it just like you would, and that will auto update. It's like it acts like a smart object in a way, even though it's not really an official smart object. It's more like it's like a hack as it is. It's like it is like a hack. It's I'm not sure who else uses it. I've never seen anybody mention it before, but I'm sure they do. But so go in there, just I'll just I'll delete that. Just save that. I don't know why, but Adobe Illustrator hasn't got a little white blob there for some strange reason. It's really weird. Even though it's open. Right then, so there you go. Lock that file, so no matter what I do, I can't actually move it by accident. So then, when I've got the actual the raster artwork, the things that I've done in Photoshop with pixels, that kind of thing, I then they're the template guides to make sure everything's in place. Then I do the vectors, and if you've used Illustrator before, you'll know that vectors are not pixels; they're things that are made up out of. See, that's another thing. Normally in Illustrator, I just drag a marquee around and it would zoom that way. I need to sort that out in preferences. Anyway, you truly are getting this raw and uncut. It's like you're seeing the issues that I face as a designer, warts and all. Yeah, normally if you used Illustrator before, I mean, what I do is I press like spacebar command, and even smart guides are on. What the heck? Right there. Never use smart guides. I never have done. So anyway, let's turn this off. So these are the wrong one. What the heck? Like Spaceballs. What the heck? Turn off the entire movie. Oh, what's going on? I can't see what's going on there. Where is that? Okay, template guides. So them are vectors. Oh, that's why. It's because they're on underneath. Right. So they're my vectors. That box across, that's my PSD file, and everything else is just made out of shapes in Illustrator. So that was a font, and I've converted it to outlines so I can space these properly, that kind of thing. So then overlaid the vectors on top of the PSD file, and put the put template guides. These undiscovered, real or fake. They're in the spine for the design, and as you can see, there's some white text overlaying the photograph, and you can see here where Phil's watch is. That was coming up white behind the words backing vocals, so that is why I filled it in with blue. So that's the done. That is the done. That is the CD cover tray card done for now until I do the rest of the design. So I'll make this the first episode, as it were. Loads of me just rambling on in it, but I suppose that is the point of these videos. In this video, I'm showing you what I've already done, because I haven't yet finished this CD. And I will, when I do the front cover, I will be doing it like this, and I'll design it while making a video. And you'll be able to see all my mistakes, all me tripping up over my own tongue, all me coughing, and all that kind of thing. It's just truly is raw and uncut, full of all the mishaps that what happens when you design a CD. So this is the first one, and because this channel's new, even though my channel's 5 years old, brand new content. I've got like 1 subscriber, so it would really help me out if you could subscribe. Even if you're not even intending to watch it, I do intend to add some real value to this. I've got some, great loads of tips and tricks and that kind of thing. So I think, the plan is to keep doing the videos now until I finish this CD cover. And as I go along, I'll explain what I've done along the way. I mean, for example, they're the PSDs, in the booklet. Let's get pages. So this is what I've done so far in the booklet. I've got photographs there, a blue background, and then on the vectorized ones, You know, I've got. That's cool. They seem to have auto updated the location of the. I wonder if it weren't that. You know what? I may have made a mistake in what I said with the fact that it weren't linked up. Maybe it weren't linked up for because I've changed the folder location. I don't know. Anyway, this one seems to be all married up perfectly, where I've got the PSD in and the vectors over the top. So as you can see, you know, I've got the vectors, the text, you know, overlaid on top of the Photoshop file. So it's using Photoshop and Illustrator in tandem, and it's a really good, efficient way, I do believe, to actually design CDs. What am I up to? Nearly 26 minutes. I don't even know if YouTube will let me. I know like a rule or something, you can't upload more than 15 minutes, or is that if you don't have your phone number? I don't know. I'll try and upload it. Anyway, do me a big favour, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like this video. Even if you thought the video was crap, you know, I will have plenty of great content. You know, do projects, you know, record them as I do them. You'll be able to see what mistakes I make, so you won't have to make them and do things more efficiently. So that kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know how to close videos. So anyway, I'll see you in part 2. Okay then.